Michelle won't let me take the little guy. She says bedtime's at 8 o'clock at night. I said, hon, it's freaking Monday Night Football. His first game needs to be a Monday Night Football game. She says, I think his first game is going to be that Chiefs game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad at that, but I think I'm going to take him Sunday night against the Cowboys, and we'll just figure it out.
But first game be against the Patriots.
No, we're not doing the Patriots.
Why?
Because we're not doing that.
It's a win.
It's not good enough.
It's a W on the board.
First game's got to be memorable for me.
Well, for him. Jeez. What's wrong with you, man? The 3 for 2, you're going to ruin everything for everybody. All right, let's bring in Stugotz. Let's bring in our boy Stugotz from the Dan LeBatard Show. And by the way, you got the applause button? You got the applause button? Who the hell needs ESPN? We've got Peacock following up Dan Patrick. What is up, Stugotz? Long time no talk, buddy. Wow, you've come up. 20 years?
What is going on? Listen, guys, I was listening to you on the front end there. Like, I'm certain the Bengals thought that was going to be a win yesterday. So I'm with you on like the Patriots. You can't just chalk it up as a win. You can't do that.
Hey, well, I did chalk it up yesterday. I'm on all my Survivor pleas. So, so that's done.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's done, Stugotz. That is done.
What's it like being a Jets, Mets, Knicks fan? Because that's what you are, right? My buddy Jamie's the same thing, and the poor guy just has no sports love in his life.
Oh, no, I hate sports. I mean, it's weird that I work in it, that I traffic in sports, but I am a Mets fan, I'm a Jets fan, I'm a Knicks fan. New York, you have two choices. I'm also an Islander fan, and that's the only team that's made me feel – yeah, but they made me feel good when I was growing up in the 80s with 4 straight Stanley Cups, and they went to a 5th, lost to Wayne Gretzky, Yari Curry, Mark Messier, and all those guys, and I think they won the next 4. I had 86 with the Mets. I've had nothing, absolutely nothing with the Jets. So you have decisions to make in New York. Jets or Giants. You have, Rangers and Islanders. You have Mets and Yankees, and then we're all saddled with that crappy organization, the Knicks. And I made all the wrong choices. I mean, that's it. I made all the wrong choices. I went out to Shea Stadium. The Jets were playing at Shea Stadium in like the early '80s, and I went out because I live right by there. And I went out to a game, and if you remember that team, the Sack Exchange, Richard Todd, like they were just good enough and just exciting enough to suck an 8-year-old me into their organization. And so, unfortunately, I am saddled with this team for the rest of my life.
Talking to Stugotz, joining us on the River Islands guest line. All guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line. Is it a time for you to discover the islands, River Islands, and Lathrop? If you would have waited a couple years, you would have been able to root on Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Lawrence Taylor, and been a big Blue fan. Come on, Stugotz. Yeah. And then the Mets, of course.
But now I'd be stuck with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, so that is true. And at least you got a 30 for 30 coming. We just had Marty Lyons on last week. He was good. Who's part of the Sack Exchange. So at least you got a 30 for 30 coming up out of that, Stugotz.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing with the 30 for 30s on the Jets, right? Like they can only do it on specific like units within the team, right? They can never do it on an individual team. It's got to be about Mark Gastineau, Joe Klecko, Marty Lyons, Abdul Salam. That was my favorite team. That's how I became a Jets fan. But they can't do a 30 for 30 on the Jets. I guess they could do on how lousy they are. But they have to find like a specific unit. Like maybe they'll do one on Revis next, Yeah,
Revis Island, right? Holding out, run out Hard Knocks. So what's the secret, though? You and LeBatard, 20 years in the game, man. 20 years in the game. That's unprecedented in the radio industry. What's the secret sauce to that?
Wow, it's a great question. Dan putting up with me, me putting up with Dan. No, but there's some seriousness in that where, I would say over the last 20 years, I have spent more time with LeBatard than my wife. Like, I've spent more time with LeBatard than my own family. And so I think the key to, and thank you guys, because you're right, there's not a lot of radio shows that last this long. The key to our shows, we've never lost sight, is knowing your roles, not taking yourself too seriously, knowing that the people next to you and around you care about you. So when you walk that fine line of funny, sometimes funny can be mean, but it's coming from a caring place. So I think the most important thing really is just kind of, there's not a ton of ego. There's some, but there's not a ton of ego. We all know our roles. We all know how we each contribute into making our show that's something unique, different, and special. And we have all for 20 years kind of stuck to that role, knowing, even though he doesn't announce it, knowing that there is one man in charge, and that man is Dan LeBatard. We just kind of bounce around him, react to him. And as years have gone by, we've started making more fun of him than he's making of us. So, so that's it. Just really knowing your roles and and knowing what makes a good show and knowing that we're all contributing to what is a good show.
Yeah, man. Bonte's the journalist who's on television on our show, and I very much am in the similar role that you've been in the last few years. I beg this guy to get me on TV all the time, and he's no chance. He's over there. He's spooning with Chris Mullen every single night during Warrior games, and it just makes me sick. I don't get a FaceTime. I don't get a text. I don't get nothing.
No, he gets
Stu, it's difficult.
No, Stugotz.
This is difficult.
This is the problem here, Stugotz. He gets his name mentioned on the damn post-game show every single day. Then my fiance's like, what was Shasky? You just saying we spend segments on Shasky. He doesn't even realize that he wants more. See the disease of greed. You don't have greed, Stugotz.
No. He wants to be the guy on TV. You're missing it. That's what he wants.
Exactly.
He wants all your gigs. He wants all your roles. He wants all your money. He wants all your pain. He doesn't want to be talked about. He wants to do the talking. And I understand that, but I would ask you this. Is your show, if you left and went to do something else, would you have as much success as you're having right now?
No,
you'd have more success.
Well, that's your answer, my man.
He'd have more success.
Hey, Stu.
I'm the anchor of the show, Stugotz. By the way, I heard Stugotz was out there. Little birdie told me you're out there in Mexico about a year ago having fun at a Grateful Dead concert. And you brought us up. Stugotz, true story.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, no. Bully's wife, Liz, was saying, I read into this guy, Stugotz, and he brought you guys up from the morning roast or whatnot. I was like, what? Stugotz?
I
really?
did.
Remember that?
Yes, no, I do. Listen, when I'm at Dead shows and I'm doing what I'm doing, whatever that may be, that particular night, yes, what I'm always doing, what I'm doing, the way I lead conversations is with the morning roast. Yes.
Hey, Stu, Aaron Rodgers and the Niners, we've plowed this terrain so many times.
Yeah.
You can't grow anything on this terrain, but the Niners should have had him. They should have drafted him. Oh, then they've played him a million times in the playoffs and they've owned him. And from afar, we all realize this is one of the greatest players to ever play the game, period. But he doesn't have the second Super Bowl that you have to be in that upper echelon of the greatest players of all time discussion. What are you going to get from this guy this year? Because that's the biggest question, I feel like, in the entire NFL right now.
I said earlier on the show, if I get 5 plays, I'll be happy. Not 4. Just give me a 5th play. Let me see a 5th play. Give me a first down. I'll be happy. I don't know what we're going to get from this guy. I don't think anyone knows. Maybe Aaron does. I doubt that he did. I don't think anyone knows what we're going to get from a guy who, yes, 4 years ago, was the back-to-back MVP. I think he threw a combined 9 interceptions in 2 seasons. He was that good at Green Bay. But now you're dealing with a guy 40, coming off an Achilles, hasn't played football in 16 months. And so I don't know if anyone really knows what to expect. I will tell you this. If he is healthy with that team, and I will say this about Joe Douglas, he has done a tremendous job drafting. He has done a tremendous job of putting the pieces around Aaron Rodgers in order for the Jets to have success. I would say if Aaron Rodgers could even be Aaron Rodgers, his last season in Green Bay, that would have been, it wasn't great, but it would have been the greatest season a quarterback's ever had in Jets history. If you give me that kind of season, if you tell me Rodgers is going to play 16 or 17 games with and Tyrod Taylor's coming off the bench now to back him up, so if he has to give him a start or two, he could do that. If you tell me he gives you anywhere between 15 and 17 games, with their surrounding talent, I would tell you the Jets are going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I want to ask you more about the Jets here, but I know you got a hard out here. Stugotz here on the River Islands guest line. The Tyreek Hill situation yesterday, how bizarre was that?
I was telling Dan, that guy, because, sometimes football players are hard to recognize. That guy needs to drive around in his car wearing his uniform with a helmet on. The fact that happened right outside his own stadium. Now, people were there, and they said he was driving fast. We had Jeff Darlington on this morning. Jeff Darlington just happens to be the guy that's always there when athletes are getting arrested right before they go out and play. He's 2 for 2 this year, and we had some fun with that. The whole story is weird. Calais Campbell approaching the cops because he's like, hey, you know who that guy is? And then Calais Campbell, who was the NFL Man of the Year at one point, he also got detained, I should say. So it was just one of those, I know reporters are still looking into it. It's a crazy situation. You would think that the officers around that stadium who are assigned to that game would know who Tyreek Hill is and would give him a pass once they realized what he was doing, what was going on. Maybe there's more to the story. I don't know. All I do know is when Tyreek Hill goes out on a football field, listen, off the field, you can question him all you want. But on the football field, he's a top 3 player in the NFL. He's crazy.
Oh, he's a stud.
Top 3 dance, too, with the handcuffs.
Dan does this thing on your
that was great, right?
Dan does this thing on your guys' show. Like, he doesn't know what quarterbacks are any good. And he believes that, like, a lot of these guys could throw up certain numbers, X, Y, and Z. And this is regarding, like, Tua, because that's a big thing. Tua got a big contract. If I gave Brock Purdy that exact same contract, how would you react to that as a non-San Francisco 49er fan? Because he's a lightning rod, Brock Purdy is out here.
No, he is. It's interesting because, first off, I think your coach and that quarterback, they have some pressure on them. Like, it's time to win. It's time not just make the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan, it's time to win. Like, you have all the pieces. Go win if you're the genius coach. I would probably laugh if Brock Purdy got that kind of money. But here's the interesting thing. Because you wonder if it's Kyle Shanahan or if it's actually Brock Purdy. Same things you wonder with Tua, right? But think about what Tua did yesterday. He got the big deal. 3 guys, quarterbacks, got the big deal in the offseason, right? Trevor Lawrence, Tua, and Jordan Love. He beat Trevor Lawrence yesterday, and Trevor Lawrence was not very good. He was shut out in the second half. I didn't hear any fuss when Trevor Lawrence signed that big deal. It kind of just happened, and that was it. They moved on. The other guy was Jordan Love. And Jordan Love is now out 5 to 6 weeks. And I don't want to say it's funny, but the interesting thing about this whole discussion, Tua was the guy that couldn't stay healthy, right? Tua was the guy. And now Jordan Love is the guy who goes out. Jordan Love got paid based on 8 games and 1 playoff game of an NFL season. Tua's had 2 years where he's been really, really good. But as it relates to answer your question on Brock Purdy, I'd laugh. Like, I don't think Brock Purdy, to me, Jimmy Garoppolo got you to a Super Bowl. I don't think Brock Purdy is the reason the Niners are good. I think all the surrounding parts are the reasons that the 49ers are good.
All right, Jets, Niners, how does it end for you tonight, Stugotz? Will you be miserable tomorrow morning?
Yeah, it ends with the Jets in last place. I cannot believe those 3 teams. We're in last place right now, and that's going to continue. I think the Niners are going to win tonight. But I cannot believe the Dolphins. I cannot believe the Patriots. And I can't, think about it. It was looking good, guys. Bills were down early. Yep. Dolphins were down at half. And the Patriots were trotting out Jacoby Brissett. So I was feeling pretty good. But all 3 teams won. The Jets play San Francisco. Those 3 teams are 1-0. We'll be 0-1.
Travis Etienne, take care of the football. When do you guys debut on Peacock, Stugotz?
We debuted already.
Has it already happened?
Yeah, but we're on in so many places. I have trouble. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know.
They're on Max, Bleacher Report.
Did you guys find yourself scrambling to find football yesterday because we're all getting old and we don't know what's going on?
Well, DirecTV.
YouTube TV had me pretty dialed in. Yeah. They know my algorithm. My wife's got all the housewives on her thing. On my account, it's like NFL in your face. Click, and then I just lied there with the little guy, and we watched football all day.
Let me say this, Stugotz. The TV money's been so good for me that I have my own separate YouTube account. My wife does the Hulu. So, boom, we're done. You go to Hulu,
and you wonder,
I go to YouTube.
And you wonder why your co-host is so jealous and envious.
Thank you. As he shoves it down my throat.
Hey, the Warriors didn't make the playoffs this year. We didn't